beloved one, the Holy Prophet ﷺ, through the support of our Grand Shaykh and our Shaykh, to send us something that is necessary for us to take for tonight, for this time. How quickly the whole Muslim world has forgotten. How quickly man can forget. He can be doing something right all his life, but the minute he lets his ego to overtake him, he'll forget everything. Mankind can be practicing haqq, truth, for 1,000 years. But the moment when he lets batil to enter, 1,000 years is gone. It's finished. Like it never happened. For more than 1,000 years, Islam had a Khalifa. And Khilafat was so important that the Sahaba Kiram, they delayed the burial of the Prophet ﷺ to elect the Khalifa. What is the reason for that? Because whenever there is an empty seat there, there's definitely going to be batil and fitna who will want to sit there and to divide and to destroy haqq, no matter how long that haqq has been sitting on that chair. Do you understand? So the most important thing after the veiling of the Prophet ﷺ was to make sure that the ummah, although like this or like that, you see the whole of Arabia accepting the risalat of the Prophet ﷺ. They accepted, correct. But right after the Prophet ﷺ was veiled, majority of the Hijaz, they betrayed and they went back to their Jahiliyyah ways. They rejected. Not only that, they came to destroy haqq, both inside and outside. What was that? The rejection of the Khilafat of Hazrat Abu Bakr Siddiq radiallahu anhu. So to have the Khalifa there, the Khalifatullah, the Amir al-Mu'minin, the Khalifatul Rasul, it was the most important thing in Islam. That it is known in the Shariat, the most important thing to establish the Shariat and to establish the ruling of Islam, it is to have the Khilafat. For 1,300 years, there was always someone sitting there. The one who represents, the one who represents, the one who represents the Prophet ﷺ. Because in reality, Hazrat Abu Bakr Siddiq is saying, I am just representing the Prophet ﷺ. Because the Prophet ﷺ is representing who? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And Hazrat Umar is saying, I'm representing Abu Bakr Siddiq. Hazrat Usman is saying, I'm representing Hazrat Umar. And Hazrat Ali is saying, I'm representing Hazrat Usman. So they shorten everything and they just make Khalifa. Because you cannot say the Khalifa of the Khalifa of the Khalifa. But that is called Ahl Sunnah. That is a Sunnah. That is the wasila, that is the chain. So over 1,300 years, the Muslims were holding on all together to the chain, the rope of Allah, and they were not separated. When did the Muslims become separated? When they let go of that rope of Allah and they became separated. They became 1,000 pieces. People are very proud and happy. Muslims number 1 billion, 2 billion. Yes. Now we're shattered into 2 billion pieces. Because we're not holding on to that rope of Allah. The rope of Allah is bringing us to who? To the rope. The people are saying, don't hold on to your Shaykh, don't hold on to the Prophet, only hold on to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But Allah is saying, hold on tightly to the rope of Allah, do not separate. He is not saying, hold on tightly to me and do not separate. So the problem now is saying you're Ahl Sunnah, but you've forgotten your Sunni ways. You're saying, I hold on only to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So there is no rope. So you're not holding on altogether. Because 92 years ago, what has been established for over 1,300 years, over 100, actually the last Khalifa, which was who? Do you know? Huh? We don't know. Okay. Find out. This is showing that the Muslims, we don't know your own history of over 1,000 years. The last ruling Khalifa, Sultan Abdul Hamid Khan. After him was Sultan Wahduddin. After him was who? Huh? He was the last. Correct? #101 Khalifas. When the order was given by the parliament of Turkey, because at that time they're not declaring themselves to be Ottomans anymore. When they entered into his room in the Dolmabahce Palace, and his room was the only room that's lit by one light. All the other rooms, they are completely dark. The Khalifa of Islam, the last Khalifa of Islam, was reading the Quran Karim. And he came, that one, to deliver. He even hesitated. Then he read out the proclamation. The last Khalifa refused to go. But the palace was already surrounded by soldiers who were ready at any moment to gun down anyone. And there are women there, there are children there. In the middle of the night, through gunpoint, they took him out from the palace to the train station at Fajr time to put him into the train and to bring him to Europe. And after that, no more Khilafat ruling the Muslims, no more Shariat in the world. From that time until now, the whole world has been in chaos. There's no rahmat, there's no barakat. Yes. He was there in the train station and it was raining. Then they went to, there was a train station master there. So they say, what? The station master says, please, O Khalifa, come to shelter. Because those animals, they left him there with all his children and everything, and they came only with one suitcase. They gave him 2,000 pounds. Like they did to the Sultan Wahdaddin also the same. He died from starvation. Like what they did to Sultan Abdul Hamid Khan also, putting him in a train that was meant for animals, unclean animals, for pigs. And the station master said to the last Khalifa, please come to Your Highness, into my office to come out from the rain. Offered him some tea, and the Khalifa said, thank you. The station master started to cry. He says, you are thanking me? He said, I'm thanking you because for all these years you have sheltered us and you have protected us. Who was the station master? You know? No. He was Jewish. Ottomans have always protected us, he said. At least now I have one chance to serve the Khalifa. They had faith that time. Ahl Kitab. Where is the faith of the Muslims today? Everyone sits together to recite and to sing songs about the birth of your nation. National Day, correct, of every Muslim country. Understand that you're celebrating the birth of your nation because we have collectively betrayed and sent our Khalifa to exile. The death of the Khilafat is the birth of the modern Islamic nations. And the rebirth of the Jahiliyyah state for this whole world. Never before in the history of Islam that there was no Khalifa. We may speak about exceptions, maybe during the Ottoman times, during the time of Sultan Bayazid, but there was always someone there, of others there that are ruling, and the system is intact. But how quickly we are forgotten. For 1,300 years, this was in front of us. And now, less than 100 years, it's wiped out from our consciousness forever. Whatever little memory there is, whatever little revival of the Khilafat there is, so quickly we see so many other people coming together, supporting deviants of Islam. And you have these deviants of Islam calling itself, declaring Khilafat. So whatever little revival It's already very conveniently blacklisted. Understand? So now we spoke earlier in the Dargah about this matter. This is a very serious matter. You must understand the seriousness of it. Because the Prophet ﷺ says, if there is no Khalifa for 3 days, there is no Islam. 92 years have passed. Are we seeing any day becoming better for Muslims and for the rest of the world? Every day is becoming worse and worse and worse. But Muslims are not waking up. We are drugged. We are brainwashed from inside and outside. Don't say our enemies did it to us. No, our own scholars are doing it to us. Those saying they're sheikhs, they're doing it to us. When you don't remember the one who's representing the Prophet, ﷺ, how you can remember the Prophet? How you can stand up and give Darud al-Sharif and Salawat and Nat when you don't remember the Khilafat? How can you? Do you understand? It's like the ones who betrayed Hazrat Abu Bakr, but they get singing Darud al-Sharif, Salawat to the Prophet. Do you understand? You sing your Ashq Rasul. But we have betrayed the one that Rasulullah ﷺ has ashq for, his representative. It is the most important thing in the history of Islam, the Khilafat, that the Sahaba Kiram, they came together. They came together to select Hazrat Abu Bakr Siddiq as the Khalifa to delay the burial of the Prophet ﷺ. It was so important. Whatever they're going to say about the Khalifa, they may say. There is dukhan now. There's not only dust everywhere, there is dukhan. There is what? Smoke everywhere. Covering everything. So people may say. The Muslims are number one saying. But we're asking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that we are asking for the forgiveness from our sultans, from our Khalifa. And although we were not physically there when everything happened, still we are the generations that came from that generation who did not or could not do anything. And we're asking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to forgive us by us asking their forgiveness. May the Khilafat return. May the Ottomans come back. May all the righteous ones rise, inshallah, to bring down this tyranny, to wake up this ummah, to make us to welcome a new age of justice and peace, to welcome the age of Hazrat Mahdi alayhi salam, and to bring down every system that is supporting evil. May Allah bring all the good people from everywhere, from every belief, from every country to come together. This is not going to be the time where labels are going to matter so much. What you call yourself, Muslim, Christian, it is what is inside. It is our sincerity. May Allah make us to be sincere ones, inshallah. for the sake of the Holy Prophet والسلام, and Sahib al-Saif al-Fatiha.